Hi folks, and welcome back to the plot. It's a glorious weather day today, but my God, it's windy. It's really quite cold. And I've just come up quickly after work. We've just recorded Potty Mouth Garden Club as well, which always puts gives me a bit of an itch to get out in the garden. And there's a few things to show you, a few updates. But first, I'm just gonna go around, brought the strimmer up. This is exactly what I was talking about. The thing I love about this, you know, I can just sling it over my shoulder, nice and easy, no fuss, just while I'm walking to the allotment. So there's a few bits which are in dire need of a strim already. Feels like just yesterday I did it, but like I say, it's just so easy. I can just get to it. This is just one of those days for me where I was just like, I'm really in the mood to be at the allotment. You know, first thing back at work, been indoors all day, bit of sunshine, and I'm like, let me out, let me out. Now look at this, 1 minute into the video and we've got our technical difficulties, but look at that tree. It was blowing an absolute hoolie. The wind just suddenly came in, the skies went dark, the weather completely caught me out again. And you can see I'm pointing at the grass there, you can see all the winds blowing around, it's gusty. And I was trying to rake up the trimmings and put them in the hot composter. But it was just blowing away absolutely everywhere. It was a nightmare, and the rain started coming down, really proper big heavy rain. So I'm like panicking, like, quick, get all the technology in the tunnel. Just completely caught me out. And walking into the polytunnel, I remember, this is like a warm bath. That's what I said there. It's so good. We've really lost the dramatic effect of the sound of the rain on the polytunnel, but you can see in this little clip the wind, the way it was howling through the polytunnel. I've never seen anything like it changing so quickly. And the entire shelf was rocking around, and I was just saying there that it's just because I've got those vents in. I probably should have put something up there that I could roll down for weather like this to stop it coming straight in the tunnel. So I think I've probably just treated you to some voiceover and in the rush to run away from the rain, which has just suddenly come in, I didn't turn the mic on. So you've not actually heard it coming down on the tunnel. But I've just been saying it's just sweeping in through this tunnel. It's really quite dramatic. I've been like shouting, it's properly stormy, it's calming down for a second. But yeah, there's still plenty I can do today. Well, the other thing I was saying is quite often if I come up, and this wasn't forecast at all, but if I walk up, quite often, you know, with my tail between my legs, I give Jess a little phone call like, any chance you could come and pick me up in the car? But she's away with the car. That is hail. It is actually hailing. What on earth? I mean, it's only small hail, thankfully. It's a little freaky moment. I think it's going to calm down. Like I say, this wasn't really forecast, so I'm hoping it's just a little freak occurrence. But while it's not too loud, there's a few things I can show you in the tunnel, I think. First thing, I've sown more peas. I can't believe I've done this. Okay, this is, I think, one of the things I was worst for, and one of the things I feel like I'm most famous for. Maybe only in my own head, I'm not sure how true this is, but it is definitely successional sowing. Successional sowing. I absolutely suck at it, and this is like one of the first times I've ever done it. Sometimes I start off the season with it, you know, I can do a few lettuce and that kind of thing, but normally once it's kind of around the time the peppers come out, I don't know if it's because of the peppers, but when you're starting to think about potting on and planting out and sowing new things and oh, I've got to sow my cucumbers, I want to get a melon on a go, all the birds are singing. Oh, it's really peaceful. Then the successional sowing just falls by the wayside. So anytime I actually do some successioning, I'm like, yeah, I'm an expert. I'm doing it properly. This little tray over here, I mean, I'm really glad this survived all that wind. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It is very stable. But yeah, this is that little tray of brassicas I mentioned I'd sown the other day. All sorts in here. What we got? Purple sprouting broccoli, Tronchuda kale, Evesham, Brussels sprouts, broccoli rabe, trying that for the first time. Minestra nera, this was sent by Jessie as well. I forgot to mention this. Really, really exciting. She has been raving about this. It's the namesake of minestrone, a
A really, really cool looking brassica. Can't wait. We've got a few funky names of leaf chicory. And look, oh, look, beetroot seeds. They've actually germinated. I don't know why they've not come up in the greenhouse. Could it be too warm for them? I don't think that's going to be a thing, is it? Is that a thing? Then again, fantastic germination on all of these. And they've been mostly in here, not in the greenhouse. So maybe it's something about the greenhouse, I don't know. The purple sprouting and the Evesham, a little bit late, but this Trontuda kale looks so cool. Really, really happy with that. This little tray of cabbage, I'm a little bit concerned about this. Bit of slug damage on there. Oh, I've just launched a thing, got caught on my sleeve. Very glad it was just one and not the whole tray like last time. But yeah, you can see that coloration on a seedling, generally indicative of stress. This one's been nibbled. Oh, let me do a slug hunt. Okay, not a stealthy slug, this one. I was expecting to have to, lift the trays, look all underneath the nooks and crannies. Found you. Hiding. Barely hiding. Gonna dispatch this one. So yeah, the stress here I think actually might be because it's too warm. What I want to do is put these somewhere cooler. If I had a cold frame, I think that would be ideal. And the cold frame would be more for protection just from the pigeons. I did put these out for a few days. Actually, oh, that might be pigeon damage at the back. I'm blaming the slugs, although I did just find one. But that might be pigeons that had a little nibble on the seedlings, I don't know. I just left them outside with the garlic and the broad beans and all that kind of thing. More excitement around the other side though, because the potatoes are up. Look at the colour of these. Oh, just magnificent, aren't they? That is pretty. This is Red Duke of York in the spent compost, up very quick, and the Red Duke of York over here, looking good as well, but just a bit slower. The King Edward just starting in here and here. Really, really cool. I'm hoping this year we get a good harvest. My big target for this year, successional sowing and keeping these actually watered. Loads of little radish and rocket, and we've got some lettuce in here. I love having this actually just sown straight in the ground, and it's come up. But hey, look, I've got distracted in the tunnel. There are a few other things I wanted to show you. I can't really remember what they were. Oh yes, one out here, very exciting. Oh, this looks good. I have filled the sweet pea bed just with a little bit of kind of, this is from one of the compost bays, the third bay. So it's a mixture of spent compost and homemade compost, but it looks pretty good. Very satisfied to have it filled. It's going to be a little while before the sweet peas go out. They're still just seedlings at the moment. But over here, I do need to move these scaffolding boards somewhere else. I've taken all the covers off this bed, you can see. And it looks quite nice and quite weed-free. It's there's pockets of manure here and there. You can see the bedding. A lot of the manure has started to break down, but we were just talking about this on the Potty Mouth Garden Club podcast, and I was saying I don't know if I've got it quite right with the bed prep this year. Having all this raw manure, all this weed seed. I think for something like this, I'm going to have to be breaking it up and incorporating it into that top layer of the soil a little bit more, and just fighting off the weeds more traditionally with the hoe. This bed has now been prepared as well, and this had so much manure, so this is looking really, really good. But once again, I think because it was covered, this is all dried out. This is really dry. And it's not really breaking down. There's not much worm in, there's not many worms in here. There's one or two, there's one there, look. But I think if I planted straight into this, it might not be great. So this is gonna be left to have a few more rains on it, get everything a bit more moist. I think having the covers on it, probably not the best thing. But yeah, all the beds are done now. Every bed has been weeded, prepped. Might do the parsnips in here again. These are looking fantastic, but Fort Knox. Let me introduce you to Fort Knox. Any regular viewers of the channel will be familiar with the little four-legged friends that you often see in the background of my videos, especially if I set the tripod up and I'm doing something for quite a long time. You quite often get curious little fox in the background that I never see until I'm editing. And they do love to dig. They do love to dig in the beds. I don't mind the foxes. I quite like seeing them. They're very cute. I don't have chickens, of course. I would probably feel quite differently. But as soon as I did the carrots, got straight in here, didn't they? Only a tiny bit. But it was right on the drill. Oh, the wind is picking up again. Okay. Oh, okay. It is proper stormy. So, yes, this mesh, I've just, Well, I've bunged it on top, haven't I? A little bit of wood across to brace it, and that job's a good one. What is that? That's bind. Look at that bindweed. I see you. I should probably try and get this properly. I can't resist it when I see it. This is volunteer potato beds, looking pretty good. But yes, just a few little updates. Oh, of course the peas. Oh no, you have seen those. Oh, you haven't seen the peas over here. I'm jogging. We're gonna beat the rain. Before I've got to go back inside again. But I've put the other row of gutter peas in here. And this is where I'm just doing the fencing pins, the road pins. That was the word, thank you, in the comments. I couldn't remember what these were called. And these I'm just gonna do the string around and the string around. Oh, let me just, while the rain stopped, let me just get this grass in. How's it reading on here? It's condensation-y, can you see that? It says it's only 30, but let's look inside. I reckon it's warmer. Plenty of steam, and look at that. Pretty good. Just shove this in here for now. I'll mix it up with some more cardboard next time I come down, I'm sure. It's kind of a pitiful amount of grass. I'm looking forward to getting the mower out. Oh, I'm getting very, very rained on. It's actually quite fun. Dodging the showers, it's a little bit exciting. But yes, the other thing, I've got this in my back pocket, look. Let me fish it out, excuse me. Talk amongst yourself. Oh, dear me. A little socket adapter. So I should now be able to get that P frame sorted, and that's sort of what I was planning to do today. I just wanted to show you a few little updates. You know those lettuce in that bed over there as well? Still okay? Still okay, they're still there. They've not been completely got yet. So fingers crossed. But I'm gonna wait for the rain to ease off and then give this a little go, see if I can get the brackets on the scaffolding frame, and the pea netting should be with me very soon. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna wait for this rain to hold off, have a little fiddle around with that scaffolding, see if I can get that. I'll tell you what is working as well, the guttering. I've got it all glued in. I did some testing with the watering can. Oh, it's so good. Absolutely love it. Thank you ever so much for joining me. An extra special thank you to all of my Chili Pepper Tier patrons: Tony, Bill, Pam, Louise, Mel, Michael, Denise, Socks in the Garden, Sarah, Andrew, Angela, and Dorcas. Hopefully I'll see you again next time.